So transitioning kids to vegan. So
some kids aren't prone to eating plant-based foods, because they've been eating a SAD diet, and if you don't know what a SAD diet is, it stands for Standard American Diet. And that tends to be a lot of heavy processed junk food, heavy meats, heavy cheeses, just a lot of things that cause like many issues, inflammation, digestion, just a whole lot of things. But when it comes to transitioning kids, we created a list with, a few steps here.
So if a child is coming from the Standard American Diet, jumping them straight into either a high raw or like a whole foods plant-based diet, or they're eating just all whole foods, it's probably going to be really hard on them. It's going to be hard on them physically because of detox. It's going to be hard on them emotionally because this is a change that maybe they didn't decide for themselves. There's just going to be a lot going on.
It's like a major shock to their system, As adults, that's something that we can handle a lot better, just because we can figure things out a little bit easier,
Understand
and we understand it exactly.
Yeah.
So for them, like she just said, it could be much more difficult than that.
Yeah. So if your kid's coming from a Standard American Diet, fake meats and fake cheeses like chow, we don't really eat a lot of that stuff, so it's whatever's out there, whatever
chow diet
is out there. Having those in the beginning can be really helpful to help them ease into this transition of plant-based foods. So they don't feel too overwhelmed. They don't feel like you're taking away all of their different foods. And, it can be easier on their bodies as well during that, beginning transition stage.
Yeah. And when you're feeding them these fake meats and fake cheeses, make sure it's not like most of what they eat. You still want to have a lot of other very simple whole plant-based diet foods. And of course, you want to add the fruits in. It's very, very important. So just, try to minimize that. You can still have it there because like she was saying, it'll help them transition a lot easier. But you just don't want that to be like everything that they eat.
Yeah, for sure. So another way to help kids transition to veganism is to recreate their favorite dishes. So there are vegan recipes out there for anything that you can think of that is not vegan. So whatever your kid likes, you can make a vegan version of that. And that can definitely help them, transition because they can realize, I can still eat all of my favorite foods on this new vegan diet. I don't have to, cut out all these different foods that I really love. They're still here for me. They're just a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. And you can make everything, just like she said, spaghetti, you can make pizza, you can make just
cake.
Yeah, everything. You can make everything.
Yeah.
But when you are making these everythings, make sure you are just conscious of what's in them, So let's say you're making spaghetti, for an example. Okay. You want to make sure it's not like overly processed or super junky,
chickpea pasta or lentil pasta or brown rice pasta instead of whole, instead of wheat pasta.
Yeah, and then you can make your own sauce, or if you are buying a sauce, make sure it doesn't have things like high fructose corn syrup in it and other just weird ingredients. It's just best to keep them as simple as you possibly can.
Yeah, so there's definitely a way to make it all healthy, or at least healthier.
Yeah, and it'll still be delicious.
So, it's also good to be patient and understanding of their process when you are transitioning your kids to vegan, because you have to realize that most likely this was a decision that you made for them, and they're going to take their own time to understand and deal with this process and this new lifestyle that you have, planned out for them. So, you might be on board right away, but they might not be at first.
Yes, exactly. Because if you are feeding a kid, hamburgers and fries and pizza, like the junky stuff,
fast food.
Yeah, and fast food and chips and all these other things, it's most likely going to take them a while to adjust, so you definitely need to be patient and understanding for sure.
Yes. Especially if your kid is older and they have a lot of friends who are not vegan, and they have a social life where they're not, people around them are not vegan, and You just have to be okay with where they're at in this process and not push too hard.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes into our last and final step here, is to just ease into a whole plant-based foods diet, and don't like force it and make it super strong and make them uncomfortable and things like that. You just want to just take it nice and easy.
Yeah, start out with those fake meats, start out with recreating dishes, and ease into the more simple foods and the whole foods. But in the beginning, there's going to be more processed foods probably, and it's going to be a transition for them. And some kids, it might take a week to transition. Some kids, it might take a year.
Yeah.
So you just have to, the best thing you can do is talk to your child. Talk to them as you would an adult, and
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. When it comes to transitioning a kid, think of it as an adult, because at the end of the day, a child is still a person. So if you are yourself are transitioning, just you want to think of all the things that you would like. You would be patient and understanding with yourself. You would want to ease into the process with yourself. You also want to recreate your dishes. All of these things that we listed here. But it's very important, like she just said, to listen to them. You don't want to make it uncomfortable for them and just kind of try to cram everything in their face. And you know what I'm saying? You just really want to just take it slow and understand and listen to them.